Hey you guys, how's it going? So today I just want to share my thoughts. So as I'm just thinking out loud and just kind of talking to you guys, I guess at the same time, but I just wanted to compare in my own head, just kind of talk out loud about working a local job versus a seasonal job. And of course, the numbers are going to vary depending on the person, the place, what job it is, where it's at, your experience, even your vehicle. Like if you have a car, if you have a van, if you have a full-size van or a minivan, if you have an RV, the numbers are going to vary. So I'm not going to touch on that specifically. It's just more, my kind of thoughts comparing. So for a few years, I've been curious about seasonal jobs. I've seen, people talk about it on YouTube, and they talk about it in a positive way, like how much money they can make, that they can make a lot more money in a shorter period of time comparing to working a local job in their city or their state or whatever, wherever they're at. So that's always been intriguing to me because if you can work smarter and not harder, well, hello, who doesn't want that, right? So they always talk about that, and they take trips, maybe 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles, depends where they live. They go from normally down the states down south is where a lot of people like to live most of the year because it's a lot warmer, it's nicer, the climate is nicer comparing to like the freezing cold or whatever up north. So people will have to travel, from point A all the way up north to point B and then back down south to point A, right? I hadn't really considered as much how much it's going to take, like as far as gasoline, the wear and tear on your vehicles, extra oil changes, replacing the tires sooner, all the mechanical stuff that can go wrong, breakdowns, all that kind of stuff. It's just going to depend on your vehicle and how far you drive and all that kind of good stuff. But all that to say, okay, is it worth it? I don't know. If you guys have done seasonal jobs compared to more of a local job, you guys can put the info down on a comment and let us all know, kind of comparing. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, this road trip that I just took, and I did almost 3,200 miles, and I would assume it would be similar mileage to go from, where you like to live around, and then you go somewhere up north and come back down after you're done. So that's kind of comparable, I think. And that was almost $600 of gasoline. Not to mention all the extra maintenance that you're gonna have to, also pay for. But I'm like, okay, well, that's already $600 that you have to take away from your pay. And I'm not sure, what the actual pay is. Like I said, it's going to depend on the actual job and your experience. Or is it better for me to just stay in my area and just work a local job? Like, what kind of money I can make there compared to a seasonal job? I've always been intrigued because people have mentioned on YouTube years ago, actually, is when I saw a couple of videos of somebody saying like they work like the 1 to 2 seasonal jobs and they make enough money to live off the rest of the year. So that was always very intriguing to me. Like, okay, I can work a few months and be able to save the extra money and live off the whole year and not have to worry about it. Okay, yeah, I like the sound of that. And of course, it sounds great. Like the idea of it sounds really good, right? Work smarter, not harder. Like the way that I like to do it personally is go somewhere where I want to live, and I want to live there for several months, half the year, or a full year. Find a local job there and just kind of, live around there, experience the area, get to know the area, take little small trips, around the area. That's how I like to do it. But the seasonal job was always very intriguing because all I heard on YouTube for many years was how great it was, how good the money is, but they don't tell you a lot of the negative stuff. And that's where, you have to do your own homework, your own research, you know, obviously, right? But I've always been super curious about it. But now I'm like, I think for me personally, I would prefer to just go where I wanted to go and stay for a while and find something local there. But also now with DoorDash, like that's super simple. If it's a good enough size city to a major city, and you know, obviously they have the delivery stuff there. They have the like the DoorDash, the Uber Eats, all that kind of stuff, like Instacart or whatever it's called. They have all kinds of stuff like that you can also do, and that's more on your time, on your schedule. You know, if you need a day off, if you need a whole month off, you know, you can do that. Those kind of jobs have actually been wonderful. Yes, you don't make as much money, but it pays the bills. It gives you a huge flexibility and freedom. That is the kind of the best middle ground for me. I've really enjoyed doing DoorDash, and although it's not the highest paying job, it is very flexible. You get paid weekly, which some places you don't get paid weekly. You have to wait like 2 weeks to a month. It just depends. You know, I'm not relying on just DoorDash alone for my future, for my what do you call it, for like my retirement and old age and all that. You know, I'm setting up the steps that I need while the years go by, right? Setting myself up for retirement, but at the same time, you know, I don't want to have a regular 9-to-5 job like that I can't do it. I don't like having the same routine, the same mundane stuff over and over and over, having to ask permission. Even some places, like, you have to ask to even use the restroom, like to be able to leave where you're working to go and, you know, take a break. Or so I found the best middle ground for me is to do some kind of like part-time delivery type of job like DoorDash, and at the same time work on other side hustles and then kind of build myself up that way. So like for retirement, I think about that, you know, and all those things I consider and I think about all the time. So I'm just sharing my thoughts with you guys. But, you know, after seeing a few of you go and do some seasonal work and, you know, hearing how that kind of works, and then comparing that to my local job here that I do, that I could take anywhere really. So, but normally when I travel, I choose to just travel and enjoy as like a vacation or a business trip or whatever I need to do, and not have to actually like work. My way of doing travel is to just save up my money and then travel and actually enjoy my time wherever I happen to be. But for me, what I have found that works best is to find a place that I want to stay at for a while, or at least I think I want to stay at for a while, and kind of go experience that area, and then find a local job there, find something part-time. I don't ever want to work full-time again. Not for anybody else. If it's for me, it's different, right? If it's my business, my thing, then of course I'm gonna, you know, do what I need to do. But as far as working for somebody else, I rather work part-time, and then I also work on my own businesses, my own hustles, my own different things to set myself up for the future. And I think that that's what works best for me. But yeah, I have been curious about doing seasonal work, but now I'm like, I don't even know if it's worth it, if you actually get paid that much more than just staying put and finding something local. I don't know. You guys, what do you guys think? Have you done any of those seasonal jobs? And that's kind of been more the goal for me, to be more of a digital nomad, along with, you know, some of the side hustles that I am working on. Plus, in the future, I do want to have some kind of a small-ish apartment complex. You know, I'm working on that too, to be able to save up a good down payment and get an apartment complex, and then, you know, that be the majority of my retirement, the funding of my retirement, to have that. And also, if I decide to to sell this home or to keep it, I mean, it's cheap enough to keep it, but if I decide to sell it, then I always have the apartment complex. I just need like a small 1 bedroom or studio that I can go and live when I'm older, if I choose to live there. But for now, you know, I'm enjoying this house. Like I've mentioned many times, I enjoy this house. I think it's a great little house. And for the time being, I'm going to be here because the payments, the upkeep, the lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, is very affordable for me. So I will be living my best life with the house and the van. But in my future, that is my goal, to be able to get a smaller apartment complex and then kind of build my real estate up that way. Yeah, you guys, I'm just thinking out loud here, and as much curiosity as I had with the seasonal jobs, it turns out that I don't think that would be the best thing for me. I would prefer to just go somewhere that I think that I want to spend quite a few weeks, quite a few months, maybe a whole year in a certain city, a certain location, and find something local there and just experience the area, experience the vibe, the, you know, whatever, and just go explore that area and the surrounding areas. That's how I typically enjoy traveling. And it's, I guess, slow travel. I don't know what you would call it. I think it's slow travel, but yeah, that's how I would enjoy doing it. Anyway, thanks for hearing me ramble on about my thoughts and everything. If you guys want to let us know your experiences or anything that you care to share, always, you know, in the comments. We all learn from the comments. We all learn from each other. But yeah, you guys, just my 2 cents and my thoughts and my wheels turning. And, you know, I've seen some recent videos of people working seasonal jobs and, you know, kind of their initial experience, and just kind of comparing that to the expense. Like, is it worth doing or not doing? Is it worth just finding something local? You know, all that kind of good stuff. I'm like, I'm trying to keep stuff simple, logical, but still enjoy and make it, you know, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. It's just going to depend on the person, right? Person and situation. But for me, I don't think a seasonal job is the way that I guess I want to go now. It was intriguing at first, but now not so much. Anyway, bye guys. Thanks for hearing me ramble. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching Dia's Frugal Life. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe for more future videos. You can also join and be part of our coffee club. We would love to have you. Thanks for all the love and support.